Yeah, so you know how we've been swearing in the intro?
Yeah.
We shouldn't.
You shouldn't?
We shouldn't, like, straight up.
No? That's fair enough.
So we just won't do that.
Okay.
All right, welcome to the A Critical podcast, where Andy and Andrew talk about news and politics and give our idiotic opinions.
Yep, sure do.
So what are we talking about this week, Andrew?
We're talking about the RBA went ahead with their rate interest rise.
Yeah.
We talked about that, I think, the last one.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. A churchman who believed homosex was a sin is guilty of molesting 7 men.
Homosex.
Homosex?
Do you mean homosexuals?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's my
Mm-hmm.
quick cut. What happened on the block? We're going to talk about that.
Very interesting.
I don't really talk about reality shows, but it's because of the house prizes, really.
Oh, I don't watch the block either.
We don't watch the block.
No.
Because fuck reality TV.
Yeah.
I just swore. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And Optus. It's the first time ever someone didn't say F you, Telstra.
You have written there, fuck Optus.
Yeah, I have written there, fuck Optus, just as like my fucking main point. Because, I mean, look at what they did. So the RBA has upped the interest rate from 4.2 to 4.35%. So
Say that again, please.
the RBA has upped the interest rate to 4.35%, which, you know, it's always weird is like you look at these numbers and you're like, that's not really that big, but it's crazy how much of an effect it does.
Well, like if you look at like interest rate, the interest rate from up to 4.35%, right?
Yeah.
But then you look at like Woolies and Coles have upped their prices over 8 to 9%.
Yeah.
You look at fuels up over 5%.
Yeah.
You look at everything's up. You know,
Yeah.
there was a report the other day that chocolate and sugar, cocoa beans and cane sugar
Yeah.
are up 40%.
Yeah.
So it's like
But it's like, who's doing it? Like, it's we do have access to
the cabal.
the cabal of people that control the world, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
The international cabal.
Well, I mean, it's not wrong. There's literally like, you go over to Saudi Arabia and it's like, we're not going to release a certain amount of fuel this year because we want fuel prices to go up.
Yeah, exactly. You want to keep the fuel
Like,
prices.
but then they figured out, it's like, well, why should we ever meet the supply? Like, why should we ever meet the demand for all these people? It's like, why don't we just keep the supply short and up our prices?
Yeah, exactly. Capitalism.
Capitalism.
Dun, dun, dun.
So the rate rise will add around $76 a month to repayments on a $500,000 a year mortgage.
How much?
$76 a month repayments to a $500,000 mortgage. Which, I mean, who has a $500,000 mortgage?
$500,000 is like a shithole.
It's a rundown shack, that one.
Yeah. You can't even get a fucking townhouse for that these days.
Dude, you can't get any houses around where we live
Yeah.
for under $600,000.
Yeah. And then if you look at like a townhouse, it's like 550 plus.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
And
sure
then-
these ones. Well, it's also like, if you want a new house, it's going to be upwards of way upwards.
It's ridiculous. Like the land near me is like 250,000. I saw a block down on my way to work, and it's 2 acres.
Mm.
They're dividing it up by 4 or 5.
Mm.
They want 320 per block.
And it's like, why? There's no running water to it at the moment. You have to pay for that.
Yeah, it's literally just a block
There's
that they've divided up.
There's no lines to it whatsoever. There's no main road.
So you have to pay everything, but you're going to pay, over 300,000 just for the land.
Just for the land.
With nothing on it.
With nothing fucking on it. And you
I
still have
remember-
to build a house, which could be upwards of $800,000 if you want a decent 4-bedroom house now.
Look, nearly 10 years ago, I know. I sound really old, but
10 years ago, mate.
back 10 years ago, you could buy a house and land package for like 300,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then in 10 years, it's like doubled, more than doubled.
Well, it's like you see, like, it's weird because you see a rundown sign on the highway when you're heading up towards Wivenhoe, and it's like house and land packages for $120,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. How long ago was that? 2
When
years?
the fuck was that? Well, I mean, if we talk about people that we know, someone that we do know that together that I mainly know, they bought their house back in 2001 for $66,000
Mm.
and then sold it in 2021 for $660,000.
Yeah. But they broke.
They're broke now, apparently. They're broke. They're doing it tough.
Yeah. It's like if you didn't have that mortgage paid off,
You
what
don't
the
have
fuck were you doing?
Any mortgage and you have $80,000 left in the bank.
Yeah.
You're doing it tough.
Yeah.
And Michelle Bullock warned that it may not be the last, stating whether further tightening of the monetary policy is required to ensure that inflation returns to a target in a reasonable time frame will depend upon the data and the evolving assessment of risks. And she said, plus we want to see people squeal. She didn't actually say that.
No.
No.
So like we said it last time, like they want the rates higher. They want unemployment higher. They basically just want people to be in pain.
Pretty much.
And they say, oh, but if you raise wages so people can afford things, they'll buy things.
They'll buy things. And it's like, but the things that we're buying are the things that we need.
Yeah, like houses, food, utilities, transportation.
I love it when I think there was a minister over in New Zealand who was like, he was talking about the cost of living crisis, and I think he was probably the worst person to talk about it.
Because he was a minister?
Because he was a minister.
So he was getting all that tax-free dosh.
Yeah. And he's also like talking about how people, like the reporter asked the questions, like people are spending the money on the things that they need, like food.
Oh, can I guess his response?
He's like, eat less.
Oh, I thought his response was going to be, the only thing you need is God.
No, he said,
Oh.
eat less.
Nice.
So he said, cut down your meals, cut down your snacks.
You remember that Kung Fu Panda tigress?
Mm.
It said the dragon warrior can survive off the dew of a ginkgo bean.
Yeah, survive off the chew.
It's like, okay, we're all dragon warriors now.
Apparently. I wish we were dragon warriors.
Hey-ya. Well, it wasn't the power of the dragon warrior to believe in yourself.
Yeah, it was just believe yourself.
Yeah, so all we have to do is believe in ourselves and overthrow the government and eat the rich.
Pretty much. But I think everybody's like, how far can this really go? Because it's like, okay, the cost of living crisis has been happening pretty much since COVID now. Well,
We've been talking about this since the podcast started.
since the podcast started, and it's kind of like, well, where does this go? Where does it end? How does
Never.
it stop?
Never ends.
And it never ends because
Until there's a market crash.
Until there's a market crash, and then they'll go, well, I guess we've got to bail out the banks again.
And then they'll blame us.
And then they'll blame us for spending too much money.
Mm-hmm.
Spending all the money, even though I don't have any money to spend. Do you have any money to spend?
No.
I'm spending money on energy bills, water bills, food, fuel, and shit I need.
Yeah, like, no, just don't buy those books for your kids'
I've
school.
had the same TV for the past 12 years.
I bought my TV when you were living with me.
Yeah, and
That's how old it is.
that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah, 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I haven't like made large expenses that I haven't had to, like buying a new car.
No.
Well, it's not a new car, but buying a car because of my other car.
Yeah, you bought a $7,000 car.
Yeah.
A new car.
Yeah. Woo, new car.
New car feel.
I could sell my other car for under $1,000. Woo.
Woo.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, where do we see the end out of this? And
never.
all the experts say the government needs to do more besides raising interest rates, because interest rates aren't doing leverage to the proper areas.
Yeah, well, if you look at any study, the largest factor, which everyone seems to ignore, is corporate profits.
Yeah, it's all just corporate profits. Okay.
The largest factor, inflationary factor, is corporate profits. And for some reason, everyone looks at the data and says, experts say it's high wages, no unemployment, and people buying houses. And it's like, they're not even like slices of the fucking pie. They're the crumbs on the ground.
Yeah.
The huge slice of the pie is corporate profiteering.
Literally, everybody reports.
That's fucking everyone.
It's literally like, oh, banks have this massive profit. Woolworths and Coles have this massive profit. Fuel companies and energy companies have this massive profit. Oh, but it's you.
Yeah, there was a report the other day that said it was a report the other day. It said energy has never been cheaper to make.
Yeah.
And yet they're selling to us more expensive, and they're not paying their workers anymore.
No.
And it's just, and the thing is everyone goes, oh, the government can't do anything about it because the regulations are with the state government. The state government goes, oh, we can't do anything because the regulations with the federal government. And it's like
passing the blame.
But here's the thing: even if the federal government does try to do something, I 100% bet you that the Greens will block it because they have a savior complex.
They do.
They did that with the fucking housing bill, and they're patting themselves on the back. It's like, nah, dickheads, you pushed getting more houses finished back 9 months.
Yeah.
People who needed houses could be in houses right now because it wasn't like funding new builds. It was also funding builds that were finishing.
Yep.
So those builds that were going to finish 9 months ago would have been finished under that funding model. But they had to sit there and block it 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 because they wanted to be the ones who saved the Australian people. And then they got tiny little bee's dick of something on the legislation. They were like, it was all us, boys. It was all us.
I can understand.
GG.
I can understand fundamentally why the Greens exist as...
Look, if the Greens...
As a count, like you're always got someone being like, no, I want this, no, I want this, no, I want this. But at the same point, if you ask yourself, is doing nothing better than doing at least this something?
Yeah, like definitely. The housing bill could have been way better.
Yeah.
But
it's like, it's also like, it's happening.
It's
so
something that we haven't had for a decade.
They're not going to bring anything more to the table. You can't introduce anything.
No.
You can't introduce a bill to Parliament.
It's kind of like...
to say, we're going to spend $2 billion a year on housing. It's not going to happen.
No. It's like, you can kind of say like, I don't know. You can say like the Greens are the radical left and Labor are the conservative left.
I wouldn't even call them very left.
Yeah, but they're
they're quite liberal in their policies.
Yeah, but they're over the line.
They're over the
to
line.
the left.
They believe capitalism will be the solution.
Yeah, and then you can you could say that
to the capitalism.
You could say that the Liberal Party are the leftish conservatives. Yeah. And then the Nationals are the radical right.
Yeah.
Like you could say that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a very good characterization, but if you wanted to break the...
It's a very
if you wanted to break the four major parties down, that's kind of what you got.
Well, so we did do a breakdown.
Yeah, we did.
People should watch that.
You've always got the kind of two major central parties kind of fighting over major policy, and you've got the Greens saying you can do more and the Nationals saying do less.
Yeah, exactly.
Like cut back the government.
I think
but not us.
Back when obviously the Liberals and the National Party joined together, I think that was the thing that really ruined the country in a way. Because you have the most conservative party working together with a party that's meant to be more centrist. Like obviously they are conservative in the ways of...
Oh, you can obviously tell that there's like policies that the Liberals have put in and the Nationals have pulled to the right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
their climate policy for one.
Yeah.
It was like, I think the Liberals were actually going, because remember the whole election that we had in Australia before 2021 was about climate change and about how the government was absolutely doing nothing towards climate change. And then they introduced everybody was introducing their climate change policies, you know. Greens was like 80% reduction by 2032. Labor was like 50% by 2032. And I think they backed that down to 47% or something like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the state governments are backing down to 50 anyway, and a lot of them are actually going on track to be before that, so it doesn't even matter. And I think the liberal government was 30 by 2030 or 2040 even. But I think in the discussions I remember people were saying that the left-leaning Liberals, which is weird because they're actually just Liberals, were wanting 50%.
Yeah. And then you have the Nationals standing there being like, no,
we don't want any.
There's no such thing as climate change. No,
like you got that Matt Canavan going, like he's got his deadpan scare, like we need to bring back coal. Why are people afraid of coal?
Oh, remember ScoMo with the lump of coal?
Oh yeah, he's like, don't be afraid of it.
Don't be afraid of it. Yeah, we should be. It's ruining the planet and the country.
Why do we need it? Nobody's buying it anymore.
Crazy,
right?
Crazy.
China's moving renewable. India's moving renewable. Russia is.
Everyone's moving renewable, and Australia's like, man, coal's our biggest export.
We could keep selling this.
Maybe we should pivot. Pivot. Just a little
Thanks,
thing.
Ross.
Did you see Did you see that the federal government have cut 84 projects?
Yeah,
Do you know why they cut those 84 projects?
because they were just a waste.
So those projects were, so everyone's going to say, oh, look at Labor cutting projects.
Yeah.
But those projects were put in place under the LNP government
Mm.
and were underfunded and underplanned.
Yeah.
So Labor went, well, we're going to have to cut the things that are underfunded and underplanned. So, and everyone goes, oh, so you're cutting back on the budget. And they said, no, we're just going to reallocate those underfunded funds to other projects so they get finished quicker.
I remember one project was like they were looking at building boats or building something or to help clean up around the like a bay area or something like that.
Mm.
And they're like, oh, Labor doesn't care about the environment. And it's like,
No, it was underfunded and underplanned.
yeah. And also they didn't build anything yet.
No, it was just planned.
They didn't have any workers. They didn't talk about it. They didn't do anything about it.
It was just a projected project that was probably never going to happen. And if it
Never
did
gonna
happen, it would be half-assed and it probably wouldn't work.
Exactly. All right. We're going to talk about a former West Australian churcher. A Christian.
Western
also
Australian
known-
church.
A churcher.
What's a
The
church?
person. A
Do you mean
Christian.
a church goer?
A church goer.
Yeah.
That's it. A former member of a West Australian church group who was raised to believe homosexuality is against God's law
Mm-hmm.
has been found guilty of molesting 7 young men aging from 17 to 26. So one was already 17, so that's bad. And 2, you're literally a hypocrite.
The hypocrisy is like the cherry on top of the shithole cake. Like, what a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, what a piece of shit.
Yeah, right. The court was told at the time the offences he was a member of the church. The allegations were first raised within the group. Okay, I don't know.
So
how
the church probably found out.
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
And
did.
we're like, yo, why are you touching these young boys? He's
Yeah,
like,
they confronted him, and Deal, who's his last name. I was trying to like
Deal.
Deal. That's his name.
Oh.
That's what I was like. Deal.
Deal?
And Deal was confronted by a senior pastor. Afterwards, he called the complainants and apologized to them. He denied any wrongdoing and said it was all consensual. But it's like,
So he's gay now?
so you're gay? Like, is that it? It's like the Kevin Spacey thing, isn't it? I didn't rape anybody.
I'm gay.
I'm gay.
Like, that's not an offense, dog. That's not a defense.
That's not what you're trying to defend here, bro. All right, so we're gonna talk about the block. It was a doozy. It was a fucking mess.
What season are we up to now?
Fucking who cares?
I watched the first season of The Block because it was interesting, and now it's not.
Yeah, well, it's like pretty much every Australian reality show. It's like, oh, let's watch this, see what it's like.
Let's watch this couple fight.
Let's watch this couple fight. Yeah.
Let's watch this mother disown her daughter because of the color she picked.
Well, that's like, remember Married at First Sight when it came out?
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, why the fuck would you do that? And now it's an Australian staple.
Oh,
We have the best, to be fair though, we had the best reality shows.
Well, I mean, Love is Blind copied Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, it's like, you remember when that gay marriage wasn't legal in Australia when it came out? And they had a gay couple on the first season, remember?
Yeah.
And then, like, they were just, like, hugging at the end of it. And they're like, we know this isn't real, but, you know.
It'd be nice.
It's nice.
Maybe that's what got all the boomers to vote.
They were like, oh, they can't
can't
They
do
can't do
Because,
that.
like, seriously, like, boomers, who you'd never expect to have, like, empathy or anything, they love shows like that. Like,
Yeah.
like one of the older people I know, he fucking hates reality TV. He screams and yells whenever it's on TV.
Yeah. Loves to watch it, though.
No. Farmer Wants a Wife.
Yeah.
He cries.
Fucking oath he does.
He's not a farmer, but he fucking balls his eye there. He's like, they just want to be loved.
The farmers just want to be loved.
I'm like, bro, the lead poisoning's getting to you today.
That's because they don't talk to their children. They have to have some interest outside of fucking reality.
Yeah. All right, The Block.
All right.
DBLOK.
One couple said a staggering profit of 1.6 million.
Did they get to keep that?
So yeah, that's what you do. You keep the profit.
Ah.
So you keep the profit.
So you cut corners.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Well, no, they actually, it's just because they sold it better. So like they sold their house for more. Like they built it for about all of them the same price. But
They
like,
just marketed it better.
They just marketed it better, and they
Okay.
won the $100,000 prize.
Wait, so they got 1.6 million and $100,000.
Yeah, I'm thinking, why the fuck do you need the $100,000?
No, you should only give the $100,000 if none of them make a profit.
While one couple only got $65,000 in prize money.
Only
They only got that was the losers.
$65,000. That's a decent chunk.
That's a decent chunk. That's enough for.
And now they can go on
It's
publicity.
too bad it's not
man.
enough for a house deposit.
Oh, a 10%.
You just built a multi-million-dollar house, and you only got $65,000.
Yeah, but that's 10%. That's a 10%
That's
deposit.
10% deposit on something.
Yeah, and now they can't go back to their job because people probably hate them for the shit they said on the show.
Yeah, right. I'm like that's why I wouldn't be able to do on reality shows because I just everybody would hate me.
Yeah, I'd be like, this one fat guy at work, you remind me of him.
Hey, this fat cunt at work. Yeah, he's a cunt.
And then you go back to work and be like, oh no, I didn't mean you. I was
talking about the other fat
I was
cunt.
just talking about a funny anecdote.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally not you.
The young couple Steph and Gian won the block with their property selling for $5 million.
Who has $5 million?
Yeah, I can tell you who.
Who?
Adrian Portelli.
Oh, LMTC Plus or whatever it is.
Yep. So they sold at 1.6 million above their reserve. Second was Eliza and Liberty, who won a $1
What a
million
name.
profit. Which $1 million, that's pretty fucking good.
1 million is fucking... 1 million's the lotto.
Yeah, you can buy a house in Queensland for that.
You buy a 2-bedroom.
You can buy a 2-bedroom house.
You could buy a 1-bedroom office space in Brisbane.
Yeah, pretty much.
Office space? One bedroom studio apartment.
Both properties were bought by Adrian.
Portelli.
Yeah, Portelli. The other contestants, Christy and Brett, who won the 65,000. Leah and Ash won 0.
Damn.
Kyle and Leslie won 130,000, who also bought by Adrian Portelli. He bought 3 houses.
For the block. Do you know what he does with the houses?
Yeah, he raffles them up, doesn't he?
He raffles them off with his raffle company.
There was literally a picture of him. In the news story I read, he literally he craned in one of his Lamborghinis into his penthouse in Sydney.
Yeah.
And then, like last year, because he goes to every block auction now.
Yeah.
He-
I wonder where he got his initial money from.
Mum and dad.
Probably. But like, okay, so like his business model is quite interesting. So he raffles off these expensive cars, expensive caravans, expensive vans, like done up utes, houses, cash prizes, all this, right? But it's not just you buy a ticket to the raffle because like
No.
the tickets are between like $10 and $20.
Yeah. You have to
And
be
like-
a member.
And no, you don't have to be a member. I entered one once because I wanted to see
Yeah.
what it was. So I think it was a $15 entry.
Yeah.
You enter
Yeah.
and they offer you a second ticket at half price, right?
Oh, all right.
So you go, okay, well, I'm already spending $15. I might as well spend 20 something bucks, get a second ticket,
Yeah.
half price, right? But when you go through the confirmation thing, the confirmation is like this tiny little text, and the rest is buy your ticket now, become a member.
Yeah.
And you pay like $10-20 a month or a fortnight or whatever, and you get automatically entered into all their competitions.
Yeah.
So it's like the lotto.
Yeah.
So if say you get 5,000 people paying you $20 a month,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
That's a lot of fucking money.
And especially in today's climate,
Yeah.
people will justify, oh man, $20 a month, like,
$20 a month for a $1 million house. Why the fuck not?
yeah. And then
Yeah.
there was that story where that middle-aged couple won the house,
Yeah.
but he took half the furniture and stuff out, and they said, oh, we thought this was part of the deal. And he's like, no, only some of the stuff in the house was. But they said, it was fully furnished, and we looked at the cameras and you were taking furniture out. And he goes, yeah, but that furniture's not part of it.
What the fuck? Also, he's like, oh, sorry, I need to put this into my other house that I'm going to sell.
Yeah, and then...
So, like, I want people to buy more raffle tickets,
yeah,
basically.
and then and then people were saying, oh, they're complaining about the house. And they're like, no, we're just saying, like, there's a lot of repairs that need to be done because like it was obviously done by the block.
Yeah.
So it was done in a rush.
Yeah. It was,
So
it was done by the block.
It was finished, but it wasn't like up to code or whatever. So they had to fix all this stuff. So they won a $2.5 million home or something.
Yeah.
But then they had to spend like a shitload more money to fix it.
Oh, yeah. Well, one of these, couple of these contestants had never done renovation ever before.
Yeah.
I think that was the Eliza and Liberty who sold with the $1 million profit.
Yeah.
They'd never done renovations before.
Well, like the thing is about the block these days is they don't expect you to do much of the renovations yourself. They have paint.
Yes.
They have painters and electricians and carpenters.
I watched a couple clips and I was like, but they're not doing anything. They're just like running around, like,
like they
the painter's not doing the right color.
Yeah, they pick.
And it's like, what?
They're pretty much just designers. They design it and then they like dress it
and
like set dress it when they're done. But like I remember the first season where the dude was like drilling the holes for the PowerPoints and he was like helping the electrician run the cable.
Yeah.
And he got in trouble for putting a PowerPoint in. And he was like, well, fuck, I was helping the electrician. Like, he was there the whole time.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, like, they were building things and, like, doing things.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, if a contractor can't... If you can do it without a contractor, do it.
Yeah.
And then, and then now these later seasons, they're like, yeah, I've got an electrician, I've got the builder, I've got, you know...
Yeah, yeah.
And all these people... So they're pretty much just, like, designing a home.
Yeah.
And then, like, running around and being like, oh, I painted the walls.
Ooh. Oh, actually, a bloke we work with told, because he watches the blog, and he was telling me something that happened this season. So, someone's dog died. So this couple live in Queensland.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
That was sad.
That was terrible. And like he calls up and he's on the phone and like his dad's like, oh yeah, I run the dog over. And it's like, and he's crying and he's like, I guess it is what it is. But yeah, like the dude, he's like, oh yeah, I was out in the back. I was in the front yard and we just ran over it.
Yeah.
Died instantly though. He's like, well, at least that's good. It's like crying on the phone.
Like so sad.
Well, and he's like, well, there's nothing we can do about it, I guess. And then he gets off the phone from his dad and he just fucking bawls.
Bro.
And it's like, what? Your dog just died, bro.
Yeah, I would have left.
Oh, really?
If someone killed my dog, I would have been done.
Yeah.
Man, if my dad killed my dog, I don't think I'd talk to my dad for a while. Especially if he said that to me. If he's like, oh, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Killed it instantly. I'd fucking be like, no way I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that, like dog's part of the family, man.
Pretty much.
Like.
Pretty much. But like.
Like I have a mini dachshund, so he's like pretty much just a big furry baby.
Yeah.
But like, and like he acts like my baby.
Yeah.
Like him and the baby cry at the same time and stuff. But like fucking yeah. I would lose my shit.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll talk about how much each sold.
Yep.
So Steph and Gian already talked about that, but they sold for 5 million. Eliza and Liberty sold for 4.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Christy and Brett sold for 3 mil. Kylie and Leslie 3.1, and Leah and Ash passed in. So their reserve was like 2.9 million.
Damn.
Yeah, so they only sold for 2.9. Those are the ones that got 0.
Yeah. So, like, here's the thing, right? They have budgets supplied by the show.
Yeah.
They don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
They spend all their time doing this. The property in itself, the location is always good.
Yeah, and also a lot of people point out Channel 9 often gets the land really bought for cheap.
Mm-hmm.
From like local councils or whatever, and they get it bought really cheap and like always get a like good deal on it.
Yeah.
So these houses are like go from being worth nothing
to
being multi-million-dollar houses.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people like,
and it's
what
like,
the fuck?
It's like, you know, so how much did they spend on it? Like a couple mil, right?
Yeah.
So like, and then they put this on TV and everyone goes, oh, I can go down to Bunnings and I can do this myself. It's like, no. Yeah. Your average person cannot afford the amount of work the electrician does. You cannot afford the amount of work the plumbers do. You cannot afford the amount of work that the builders do. You cannot even afford probably a builder to come in and give you a quote.
No.
You can't afford to do millions of dollars of renos. And if you can afford millions of dollars of renos, you probably already own a house
pretty much
that doesn't need renos.
you don't have a mortgage anymore.
Yeah, like I feel like TV shows like this get so out of hand because like they never used to sell for millions of dollars.
No, they never did. It was like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and it's out of hand because it's not just them renovating a house anymore. It's them. They've bought the land, built a giant place, and they're like, fix it up.
Here's a McMansion.
Yeah,
Gotta figure it out.
Get your McMansion and fucking go.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's also like you look at house prices and you're like, just because this one was in Victoria, it was in Melbourne, and it was like, what the fuck is wrong with house prices in Australia?
But like you see, 3 of them were sold to a dude who like does giveaways and competitions.
Yeah, and a lot of people pointed out he would not have had finance for those.
No,
He would have bought those just drop of a hat.
straight.
And apparently he went into this season with the idea of like, I'm a tough bidder. I can go as high as I can. And it's like, so you bought 3 houses just because you could.
Yeah.
These are the people that are buying houses.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's worse. He's not buying houses to rent to people. He's buying them to give away
In a raffle.
so he can make money.
They're not going to be put back on the market.
I've seen his ads, and his ads are not. His ads are like, "Oh, I'm here to help people. I want to help you. I want to give you things." It's like, no, dude, you're making so much fucking money off of this.
Yep.
I would love to see his profits.
Yeah.
I would love to see it because
and how much tax he pays.
Because like like there's like blind lotto and the veterans giveaway and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those are all those profits you'd hope are going to a charity.
Yeah,
but all these profits are going to this dude's pocket.
Yeah, like you go to Rotary Club and you buy a raffle ticket.
Yeah.
$2. And that's going back into the... And like
that's going
everything
back into
in the
Rotary
trailer
Club.
gets like... It's all donated.
Yeah.
It's all donated from local businesses
like
anyway.
That's the thing. And like I scroll through Instagram and I get all these like giving away a ute, giving away a souped up Commodore and everything.
Yeah,
And I'm like...
yeah.
You're not a charity,
No.
but you've taken the charity model,
Yeah.
and instead of giving the money to the charity, you're giving the money to your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It's like charities can't compete because it's like, do I buy a $10 ticket in the blind raffle, the blind lottery,
Yeah.
or do I buy $10 in this and win a $2 million home, or the blind deaf raffle might give me a $70,000 car?
The thing is, though, is that you have a $3 million house. What the fuck is your rates on that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, I want a $3 million house. Holy shit, I can't afford the rates.
Fuck no. Like, if you're on, like, even if you're on $100,000 a year, I can't imagine you fucking doing very well.
No, you'd be back to paying rent because of the rates.
And then you also got to pay to fix up the fucking blockhouse anyway.
Yeah, because that one bitch decided she could tile.
Yeah, right? It's like all these tiles are fucked and the waterproofing is fucked.
Yeah, it's like, hey, that guy who installed the glass screen by himself,
No.
it leaks everywhere. Oh, the ottoman looks pretty though. It fits the room.
Yeah. I like this shade of white.
Is this eggshell or eggshell cream?
That's a very nice chandelier. Too bad it wasn't like mounted properly.
That's a really nice chandelier. That baby cost me $20 a day to run.
Yeah. Fucking oath, man.
Like, I love all this lighting in here. Shit, that's
Dude,
like $500.
so much lights, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's the first thing they put in. I was like, we'll put a fucking like a rattan cover over it.
Rattan.
Rattan? Is it rattan or is it rattan?
Rattan.
Oh. Well, there you go.
I'm pretty up to do with the language.
The boho.
The boohoo.
The boohoo.
The boohoo.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it. That's all we had to
Fuck
talk.
the block. Capitalism pigs.
Fucking oath.
Remember when Scott Cam used to just do yards?
Isn't he not on the show?
Is he?
I don't think
know.
he's on the show anymore.
Google.
Scott Cam.
No, but remember Burke's Backyard? No, not Burke's Backyard. What was it with Jamie?
Yes, he is on the block still.
He's still okay. What show was he on with that Jamie dude?
What's his history?
Backyard Blitz.
Backyard Blitz.
Do you remember?
Backyard Blitz.
Yeah.
Domestic Blitz. Renault Rumble. There's another show called Renault Rumble. He's on Lego Masters.
Oh, nice. No, okay, so. Oh yeah, he was on Burke's Backyard. Yeah.
Hey.
He went from Burke's Backyard, and Burke's Backyard finished, and then he went on Backyard Blitz, right?
Yeah.
You know the guy Jamie from Backyard Blitz?
No.
So Google Jamie from Backyard Blitz.
Jamie from back.
We're going on a deep dive, right?
Going on a deep dive.
Because I saw an ad from him the other day, and I was like, damn. Here. No,
Wait, did he come up just under Jamie?
yeah. He's like the most famous Jamie in Australia.
Jamie Dury.
Yeah, okay. So Jamie, right?
That is a handsome man.
Australian gardener and landscape architect.
You should put up a picture of him.
Yeah, he's so handsome. He was the head of the show. He was the face of the show, right?
He's a silver fox, that one.
Oh, dude. Fucking phenomenal. Okay, Jamie's latest thing that he's supporting is an electrical grid that runs off solar and wind. So it's a battery that you buy and put in your house or business.
That's kind of cool.
That interconnects through Australia. So if you keep
scrolling.
I know. People probably hate that we're Googling, but like, Jamie's...
He just had a kid.
Yeah, he's 52.
He's 52 and he just had a kid. Jesus
Bro,
Christ.
he slays.
He's a chef on PBS Food. God dang.
Just go Jamie Dury, electrical grid.
Renewable energy readily available.
Yeah, what's the company?
Sky Energy.
Skybox.
Skybox.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, you were telling me about this ages
yeah.
ago.
No. That was a different thing. Yeah, I was telling you about the solar panels that have wind turbines underneath them, and the solar panels are angled to push the wind through, and the solar panels are double-sided because the wind turbines are white, so it reflects back up into the solar panels, and it's like they're just these boxes of like 6 solar panels and 3 turbines or something.
Yeah.
And you can just plop them on top of buildings.
Yeah, Skybox is 90% faster to install than traditional renewable energy systems, making it cost more effective from day one. Opening expression of interest with the renewable market estimated to exceed 3.5 trillion by 2030. Jesus.
Yeah, and it's a connected system that you just like you pop in your home. So so I've talked about this multiple times. I don't know on this show, but I've been talking about it forever. If everyone in Australia had solar panels and we had wind turbines and everything, and then everyone had 3 or 4 batteries in their house, and we were all interconnected on a grid, right? You could still have substations and everything with batteries and all that, and you could also have backup power through natural gas and all that.
Yeah.
But when the sun goes down, everyone goes, well, how can you have electricity with that sun? You have batteries, right?
Yeah.
But here's the great thing about Australia. Not every household's the same.
No.
So, like, I might use more energy than my neighbor, but my neighbor might be just a single old man or old lady who doesn't use that much electricity.
Yeah.
So while my batteries come down, their batteries will be topping my battery up. Yeah. And everyone will say, oh, but they're just stealing electricity. Well, if no one pays for electricity, then is it stealing if everyone just shares it?
No,
you got to have
it's socialism.
No, because then you'll have the old man out there trying to cut his line because he'll be like, it's my electricity. What if I need it one day? That dickhead next door is using my electricity. And it's like, yeah, well, if you need it one day, you're going to deplete my battery.
Yeah, exactly.
So this
like,
Skybox...
Hey, maybe have some empathy for your fucking neighbor.
Yeah, this Skybox is kind of doing that where they want to connect it.
Yeah.
So people aren't... So people are connected and, you know, renewable. That's how renewables work. Because people say, oh, you can have solar panels and batteries, but what happens when your battery dies? Well, that's why you need your neighbor to have a battery, and their neighbor to have a battery, and their neighbor to have a battery.
Exactly. Do you think that would help Optus from not going down?
No.
So, yeah, there was that entire network collapse that happened the other fucking day, right?
Yeah.
Everything went down except for you because you ran off the Telstra network.
I have Woolies Mobile, runs off Telstra phone.
Yeah.
Telstra network.
But, yeah, fucking Optus went down.
Yeah.
And it was believed to do towards a technical issue where they were upgrading the network. And that entirely went down and cut 10 million Australians off of fucking having calls and data.
Yeah. So, and internet, NBN access.
And not only that, the emergency access went down.
Yeah. So
which is a big fucking deal.
They couldn't campfire off of other networks. So how it works, right, is when you don't have reception, but from your provider, but there's another provider there.
Yeah.
It's called camping.
Yeah.
When they just kind of sit on that network, but they don't use it.
Yeah.
They only use it in an emergency.
Yeah.
They couldn't camp for ages.
No.
So the issue is every night around 2 to 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Optus does updates and upgrades. But what they don't do, which is like a big no-no and like very stupid, is they don't back anything up.
Really?
Yeah, so that was the issue. So say I was updating my computer, but it was really essential that my computer ran, right?
Yeah.
My computer was working before I update it.
Yeah.
So what I do is I back up the copy of my computer
Yeah.
and I hit update. Now, if the update fucks up, I can always just go and revert to that pre-update.
Yeah.
And then I can figure out what went wrong with that update.
Yeah.
What Optus did was they upgraded,
Yeah.
but they didn't have a backup.
Oh, so
they couldn't just go revert to the old system. They had to go, oh, fuck, we have to fix this issue.
So their IT guys are totally going to get the can.
IT, engineers, everyone.
Everyone's going to be
specialists.
like, what the fuck happened?
No. Because they can say that is not a protocol we have in place.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, people will...
They would know about it, though,
yeah,
wouldn't
people
they?
would probably get fired and like the CEO is probably going to go on a warpath or something. But the thing is that if I was an employee, I would argue that that is not our policy and procedure.
Yeah.
And, you know, I bet someone's probably suggested it in the past.
Yeah, probably.
But like you say, that's not our policy and procedure. I was following policy and procedure, which means that's on the company, not on you.
So maybe a employee went, we need to do this, and the middle management was like, I'll pass that on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or, you know, management were like, it's too much effort.
Yeah.
Well, why would our systems not work?
Yeah. Yeah, but that was just crazy, right? Like,
Yeah.
Can you imagine that ever happening again? Everybody was like, is it hackers again?
Yeah.
Is it this?
Well, that's
because
twice in 2 years that they've fucked their customers.
absolutely. Like,
And you know what?
I had my driver's license like taken in the hack, and it was like, it didn't do anything, but you know.
Yeah, but like, okay, so do you know what they're doing to reconcile with customers?
Yeah, you have to go online.
Yeah, they don't just
They don't just give it to you anyway.
Because the thing is people won't know, like especially if you're elderly or you're not so tech savvy, you'll probably be like, it's an email from Optus, fuck off.
Yeah.
But it didn't affect just one customer. It affected all of your customers. So
All
just
of them.
upgrade all of your customers.
Exactly.
So if you don't have unlimited data, they gave you 200 gigabytes for free for a month.
Yeah.
I have unlimited data,
Yeah.
so they gave me a speed boost for the month.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I'm still on a copper line. So I'm getting as fast as I possibly fucking can on that copper line. So they have just given me nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, well, okay, well, it was down for 20 hours. So that's nearly 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
So that's nearly a day.
Yeah.
So I pay, I think it's $90 on my bill.
Yeah.
So you divide 90 by 30.
Yeah.
You know, that's 3. Give me $3 back.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also like,
You cunts.
you fucking cunts.
Yeah, like you fucking useless.
It's like this is the
prick.
first time in Australia that someone didn't say fuck Telstra.
Yeah, and so at work, there were
Yeah.
only 4 of us with phones.
Yeah, there was only 4.
The boss had to sit back at the workshop and use WhatsApp to call the 4 of us out on course
Yep.
at work who had access and communicate things with the rest of the crew, which is fucked.
Yeah.
And like if you're out in the middle of nowhere, like where me and my wife live,
Yeah.
it's like if we didn't have internet or phones, we'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
you wouldn't be able to get it's fire season. You wouldn't be able to get emergency alerts.
Well, they said there was accidents.
Yeah.
There was accidents and people didn't have access to emergency.
Mm.
And it's like they just couldn't call anybody. They couldn't call 000. 000 was down.
Yeah.
Hospitals were down.
Hospitals were not working. See, like,
And it's like, what?
so like most of those hospitals were down south, right?
Yeah.
But in Queensland, I'm pretty sure our hospitals have a either or, so they have a backup.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of government places, like police stations, definitely have a backup. So they have like Telstra and Optus.
Yeah. Yeah.
In case one goes down. But like when I heard it was Optus Mobile, I was like, oh, so they fucked with a network or something. And then it was Optus NBN as well. So it was a complete access issue.
Yeah.
It was like a complete, like they could not access any of their systems.
In this day and age, I think it's really showing the gaps in a lot of companies have.
Oh yeah, it shows how old Australia is.
It shows how old we are and the gaps that we have in like continuously keeping maintenance of these networks and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's crazy because they say like, oh, mining's such a big industry. It's like maybe telecommunications should be a big industry in Australia
100%.
because we're gonna roll out a fiber network which was already 20 years old.
Yeah.
And then we went back to fiber copper, which is, 50, 60 years old.
Yep.
We don't have full reception across the whole country.
No.
We have this issue.
Yeah.
We only have 2 major companies who run networks. We also have a third network, Vodafone, which is still dog shit.
Yeah.
Maybe these telcos and the government, maybe someone should step in and be like, hey, this needs to be our industry that we work on because the rest of the world shits on us.
Yep, pretty much.
And we can't get reception all over Australia. But then the companies like go down like that. Everything. Not even a region. Not even like one region. It's like everything.
Because you have 2 networks pretty much.
Yeah. But
even if one of them go down, that's half of the country.
Everyone's fucked.
That is absolutely... Because 10 million people, that's half of the country.
But I know IT guys and they were like, I don't know why they don't do a rolling update.
Yeah.
So you start in one region and you roll it out.
Yeah.
Because if that first region has that issue, you're only affecting a small amount of Australians.
Yeah.
Which, you're still affecting them, but you're not affecting all of Australia.
Yeah, you could say, oh, well, sorry, that town went out, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it won't even be on the news.
No, because
it will be
because they would have been like, oh, that's a fault. And because they'd be rolling it out, they'd have the previous version and they'd be like, whoop, just whoop, 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 whoop.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Or, have they ever heard of testing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's test the update.
Yep.
Like, fucking so stupid. Oh, it's like, how do these CEOs and these billion-dollar companies not fucking... But, it was also the CEO's response. She, ran and hid.
Yeah.
Every other CEO was out there being like, if that was me, I'd be out ahead of it. I'd be like, hey, look, we're going to fix it. We're fixing it. Everything. Yeah. But you didn't even hear from her.
You didn't hear from her until that night.
And now there's an inquiry. And she's like, oh, there's an inquiry. And it's like, no, dude,
you fucked up.
Yeah, you fucked up. You should be out there. We had the fucking telecommunications minister talking.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, and she's like, this is what it could happen. This is the situation at the moment. And they're like, oh, Optus assures us that they're going to fix it soon. It's like, but even when they did fix it,
yeah,
a lot of my mates' mobiles still get fuck all data.
Yeah,
still don't get anything. Their internet's running slower than ever. And it's like, what have you done?
I got shit.
All right.
That's all we have for this week anyway.
I'm going to try and cut out that Andrew's going to shit.
Yeah, well, that's why I said it. I waited for your pause. But now you've brought it up, so you might as well leave it in.
No, I'll cut it out.
You'll cut it out?
All right.
Okay.
Fuck Optus. And that is the end of our episode.
That is the end of the episode.
Thank you for watching.
Love you. Bye.
Please subscribe, leave a comment, email us. Please interact with us. Tell us how much you hate us. Please. Bye.